It has been 3 months since 26-year-old Gemmel Moore was found dead at the West Hollywood home of wealthy Democratic donor Ed Buck. Initially, his death was ruled an accidental methamphetamine overdose, but Moore's mother, LaTisha Nixon, has pressed police to continue the investigation into her son Gemmel's mysterious death and to interview other black men about their experiences with Buck. Now, Buck, who has not been arrested or charged with any crime, has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Democratic candidates and causes over the years. Gemmel Moore's friends and family have launched a petition calling on Democrats to return Buck's money. So far, only one has done so. Joining us on the phone from Spring, Texas, is the mother of Gemmel Moore, LaTisha Nixon. Ms. Nixon, welcome to the show. First and foremost, do you believe that because your son has been called a male prostitute, and that's one of the reasons why people don't care, or people just say, whatever, this is not really a big deal? Do you think that's what is going on here?
Thank you for having me, and yes, I do.
The initial cause was an overdose, but we've had other individuals, am I correct, who have stepped up and talked about how they were pursued and forced to use drugs by Ed Buck. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. And
so what have authorities told you? Have they communicated with you at all?
Yes, the authorities have communicated with me after we said we were going to have a community meeting this past weekend. And basically all they've communicated to me was that they are still looking into things, but they don't have any evidence. We, myself, Jasmine Canick, Nana Gwampi, and others, we have provided them with information. They haven't done anything themselves. And
so this investigation, and we talked about the evidence, because it was initially declared an overdose, no evidence was collected at the home of Ed Buck, correct?
That's correct. Not until 19 days after my son was his homicide, I'm going to say homicide, was ruled an accidental overdose, 19 days later, after Jasmine Canick published it on her website, his journal, that's when they decided to do an investigation.
What kind of support have you gotten from the LGBT community with regards to this? Because, I mean, obviously, on one hand, your son was a male prostitute. Ed Buck is a prominent gay man there as well. Have you had any support from LGBT community?
They like to be called sex worker escort, not male prostitute.
Okay.
And I want to also point out that no sex between any of the victims that came forward and Ed Buck happened. He didn't have any sex. He just had fetishes. But as far as the LGBTQ community, I've had some support, but not as much as I would like.
When last time you talked to your son?
The day that he died.
And what was that conversation like?
He was here with me in Texas, and he decided to go back to California. And the conversation basically was like, you know, Mom, I have a plan. I'm going to do things differently, and I'll see you in 3 months. That basically was the gist of the conversation.
All right, then. Well, LaTisha Nixon, we certainly thank you for being on the show. We certainly wish you prayers as you try to seek justice for your son, Gemmel Moore.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so very much.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.